Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, the 23rd of July, 2020. I'll be spending a lot of the day in Gladstone today for various meetings with stakeholders, but I spent most of the week in Rockhampton, catching up with people around the campus, various meetings, creating some videos for various events coming up, and also taking advantage of some media opportunities, which I'll mention in a moment. On one hand, I'm pleased to see that the campuses are beginning to look busier with more staff returning to campus. Now, I know that the situation is very different in Victoria and New South Wales, and I'll talk about those campuses there in a moment. But I know for many of the other places, many of you are eager to get back to work on campus. And I understand that, and that is perfectly okay, so long as we do this in a COVID-19 safe way. So I'm reminding you all to take personal responsibility to making sure that you are not responsible, accidentally of course, for spreading the disease. So we need to be very, very conscious of our requirements there. To help you with this, we have provided a COVID-19 information kit. And where will you find it? Of course, you'll find it on StaffNet, along with a whole lot of other resources. And we're always updating our frequently asked questions in this space as well. So please access that. It describes the rules, the documentation that you'll require, the reporting lines and that sort of stuff. So please let me remind you all to take personal responsibility if you need to return to campus to work. Now, of course, if you have already arranged to work from home with your supervisor and you can continue to do that, please do so. There's no problem about that. But if you need to return to campus, then you need to be making sure that you are responsible in a COVID-19 way. Now, let's turn our attention to Victoria and New South Wales. It's a very different situation there, and you know, I extend my greetings to you all on it because I know folk in our Melbourne campus and in our Sydney campus that you're doing it pretty tough at the moment. The different sets of rules there, and I really do understand that things are pretty tight. There, let me just give you the same sorts of rules. If you can work from home, please do so. If you are required to come to campus to work in Melbourne or Sydney, then work with your supervisor to make sure that you have access to all the hygiene products that you require and that you can work in a safe way. And let's run through the things that you ought to be doing, and this applies to everyone. Washing your hands regularly, social distancing where it is appropriate, coughing and sneezing etiquette into your elbow, absolutely staying at home if you're feeling unwell. Ring your supervisor, stay at home if you're feeling unwell. There's no requirement to come to work if you've got coughs or sniffles or you think that something's coming on. Now in Victoria, you also on our Melbourne campus, you're required to wear a face mask now, and that may well extend into New South Wales. We're just watching that space. So you can either watch the media yourself, but you know that we will provide the updates to you as well. Again, StaffNet, frequently asked questions, and our COVID-19 information kit will help you along those lines. Now, in other matters, folks, I mentioned media. I've taken advantage of the announcements of the government about their relaxing some of the visa requirements of our international students. And even though there are a couple of small steps, they are important. It recognises that some of our students are studying online. Some of our students have started study overseas, even though they plan to come to Australia. So they've reduced the costs of reapplying for visas. They've recognised that people studying online, even if they haven't come to Australia yet, that study will count towards their post-study work rights for 2 to 4 years, depending on what they're studying. So there's 2 or 3 announcements by the government earlier this week. And I was on the front foot with the media to make sure that I acknowledged that that was the first step. It is important to do that. And they claim that the government claims that they're also now reissuing visas and issuing visas to new students. Our borders are not open yet in Australia. We can't take new commencing students. They can't arrive in Australia just yet. But at least these are the first first steps towards that, to recognising that. It's really important to Australia. It's worth international students are worth $40 billion to Australia annually. And it's really important, as you well know, to seek a university. So that's a little bit of good news, a step in the right direction, even if it isn't everything that we require. We've got to get through COVID-19 and our borders have to be lifted before we can start thinking about returning to normal, pre-COVID normality. What else do I need to tell you about? I've mentioned CQU creates the art awards, and that closed a week or so ago. Well, they had a record number of entries. Well done, everyone, to all our artists. Double the number of entries in previous years. I understand there were 69 entries, 85 artists, because artists work together on some entries. So well done. And in September, you will all be invited. We'll tell you all about it, to be part of the judging. So you'll hear all about that next month, but well done to everyone. There's obviously many people that have discovered their art ability during the COVID-19 pandemic, and well done to you all for entering that. A little bit of fun, a little bit of light relief. And art is itself, of course, important in its own right, and I look forward to seeing how that judging goes. And then finally, just yesterday I changed my password, and it made me think about this. You need to change your passwords regularly. It's important for two big reasons. One, it's important for you personally to protect your own privacy, and it's important also to the university. Can I remind you to set passwords that are different work and home, work and private life. And that's important because it isolates the university if your personal password gets hacked, but it protects you if your work password gets hacked. It protects all the other activities, all of your other activities. So please update your passwords regularly. Keep separate passwords for work and from home. And as I was going through that, I saw that our digital services team have put together a really simple way to get human-friendly passwords together. Because a lot of people say, oh, look, I'd update my password. It's a real hassle. And also, I can never remember. So here's a really cool way of doing it. Choosing a color, adding that to a thing, adding that to a number, put in a capital, put in a hyphen, then you've got an unbreakable password, and do that completely separate. It can be a red door 27 at home, can be completely different at work. You get the idea, folks. So please do that. It is really important for cybersecurity. We get hundreds, thousands, and occasionally millions of attempted hacks at CQ University and of course across the nation. So don't underestimate the role of individual passwords and having that secure. So please don't make them easily guessable, and please update them, change them regularly. And good on you, digital services team, for coming up with the human-friendly way of coming up with passwords. Okay, and therefore encouraging you to change them regularly. Hey folks, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again on Monday. See you then. Bye-bye.